Difficult workers, how they are and how to deal with them.
This training program has been created by 7 individuals who are particularly knowledgeable in combating the various problems that difficult employees cause in the workplace.
Our goal is to teach all participants about the struggles they will face in the workplace due to difficult employees. We will do this through a 4-part program, including a description of who they are and where they are, case studies and behavior modeling, a wrap-up, and a so what section.
By the end of this program, you will be able to explain the relationships in which you may encounter a difficult worker and characteristics of those employees with an understanding of why they are the way they are. You will also be able to generalize the examples provided in this presentation to situations in your daily life, even if those situations are not directly mentioned here. Lastly, you will be able to identify if you yourself are a difficult worker in addition to these strategies needed to reverse that behavior.
When can you expect to deal with a difficult worker? The sad truth is that you can expect to deal with them in all of your professional relationships, whether it be with a colleague, a supervisor, or a subordinate. It is not the level of the individual that determines their difficult characteristics, but the person themselves. Therefore, you should be ready at all times. In addition, there is a wide variety of difficult workers that you may be required to cooperate with. The list presented here is just a short sample of possibilities. So basically, you can expect to encounter difficult workers in any type of professional relationship, and those difficult workers will be all different kinds of difficult.
Before moving on to these case studies, it is important that you realize we will only cover 3 different difficult workers. It is your job to pay close attention to these key behaviors and techniques modeled in the remainder of the presentation and be able to apply them to a multitude of similar situations.
The first case study will focus on one of the most common types of difficult workers, the know-it-all.
So Matt, about that group project that we're supposed to be finishing.
Yeah?
I have additional information that should be useful for the project.
I think I'm just going to go with what I have here, because looking at this right now, you're just completely wrong. And I just know because I'm right.
Well, I took a look over your proposal, and I think that my statistics actually are more updated than yours. So I really think you should take a closer look at it.
Well, I already know that. I know that. And I obviously know that. I don't know where you're getting your stuff from. I still think that I'm right.
I know Matt's a very bright person, but I really think you should take the time to listen to other people's opinions.
I know we're colleagues and all, but I'm just so much more intelligent than all of my colleagues over here. I know everything.
So now that you've seen what these people can be like, it is important to understand why they act like this. Know-it-alls have 3 key characteristics that are important to remember. They consider opposition to their ideas a personal attack. They feel that they need to constantly prove their intelligence and hard work. And lastly, they usually are right with their facts and research. Next, we are going to show you an example of how most people react in this situation. Note that this is not the technique we recommend. This is just a clip to show you what your knee-jerk reaction may be.
Matt, I really insist that you should take a look at this information. I really think it's going to help us with the group project.
I still think you're completely wrong, and I'm always right, so let's just leave it at that.
You think you're always right, but to be honest with you, you're not. So I really think you should listen to what I have to say.
Now that you know what you shouldn't do, you need to know what techniques you should use in this situation to remain professional and productive. First, listen carefully so that you can formulate good questions to prevent them from dominating the conversation. Second, do your homework so that you can bring good information to the table as well. And lastly, make sure that when you do contradict them, that you provide them a gracious way to save face. In the next clip, you will see the technique of allowing know-it-alls to save face in practice.
Matt, I know you know what you're talking about, but I think you should look at this because it's from a different perspective, and at the end of the day, we're colleagues and we have to work together. So
You do make a good point, and I'm sorry if I come off like I know everything, even though I do. But yeah, I'll take a look at this.
In our second case study, we will be focusing on one of the most frustrating types of bosses, also known as an iceberg boss. As seen in the image on the screen, these difficult workers are uninterested in your work, which makes it hard for you to be a star performer. Next, you will see a clip exemplifying a situation that commonly occurs with an iceberg boss.
Silly, I'm gonna take a seat. So me and my team did research on our turnover rates, and we found the numbers. We found that the numbers show that our turnover rates is really, really bad compared to competitors, and it's costing us a lot. We even consulted with 2 consultants from McKinsey, and they said it was bad and we should do something about it. And here's a plan that we came up with, if you want to look at it. You know, I had 2 hours of sleep every night doing this for 2 weeks with me and my team, and she treats me like this? I don't know, it really hurts my feelings. I really want to be heard. I don't know. I want a new boss.
You know what? I'm just like so fed up with people just barging in my office.
So why do iceberg bosses treat you like this? It is pretty simple. They're unsociable, aloof, and uninterested in sharing your ideas. They do not enjoy communicating about personal or professional topics. Again, we will show you an example of what you should refrain from doing in this situation.
Are you even listening?
What are you doing in my room? Did you email me? Did you knock?
I don't think any of the employees know your email.
Well then Google it.
Now that you've seen how not to react in this situation, here are some simple techniques that you can use to cope. First, try to find some ways to help your boss and thereby help yourself. Look for time savers and work savers in order to keep their attention. Also, look for morale boosters for both you and your boss so that you both can be excited about your work assignment. Next, you will see a clip modeling some of these techniques.
I know your time is valuable and, you know, you seem busy and all that, but you should really look at this. Like, it'll help you look really good, it'll help me look good, it'll help all of us look good if you just look at the solution, because I think it's very viable and, you know.
Me look really good? Okay, let me look into it.
You'd be a very confident manager.
The third case study we have for you today will focus on grinners, who seem to agree with everybody on everything. Pay attention to the next clip depicting a common grinner situation.
Since our turnover rate's pretty bad, I think we should just scrap them. It doesn't matter, right? Who wants employees that doesn't want to work for me?
I completely agree, you're so right.
Let's see. Our employees, whoever's here, is working really well together. I think everyone likes each other. You like me, right?
I do like you. I think we're doing an excellent job with this teamwork.
And I think everyone who stayed should get bonuses, because our budget is so good. What do you think? Bonus for you? You want it?
Oh yeah. I like that.
I'm a good manager.
You are, definitely.
Why are grinners always so content with everything that is going on? They aren't. They're just too afraid to speak up about things with which they disagree for fear of their job. This kind of behavior can be frustrating, especially if it is a colleague with whom you're working on a project, as seen in the previous video. In this next video, you will see how not to deal with the situation.
Actually, you are completely wrong. Our turnover rates actually matter. We need people here to actually make this company work. I don't know what is wrong with these people. I mean, I have the facts right in front of me. Just because I don't have a title doesn't mean I'm less important. These subordinates need to learn not to just grin and bear it.
So how should you act if you can't do what you saw in the last skit? Try to unlock the emotion that has led to the person having a grin and bear it attitude. Help them to identify the causes of their difficult behavior. Enable them to come to you about present issues that they are uncomfortable with, but make sure that they know you will not use the information against them in the future. Build the trust with them so they feel that they are open to share their opinion with you. Lastly, ask open-ended questions that they cannot reply to with a yes or no. Watch how some of these techniques are used in action.
I have the actual numbers in front of me right here that we really need to take a look at, because most
Hold
of
it
the
right there,
stuff...
buddy. You're saying I'm wrong?
Maybe not that you're wrong, but you might be confused. Maybe you're looking at the wrong set of numbers. I mean, if you look here clearly, things are not the way they seem.
Mariam, take a look at this first.
I'll take a look at it. Maybe you should take a look at it.
What Matt did in there was quite unorthodox.
Now that you understand who and where the difficult workers are and have learned techniques that you can use with them, we will connect the dots. First of all, difficult workers are everywhere, and they are all different. To deal with them effectively, you need to understand why they are the way they are, refrain from knee-jerk reactions like the ones you just saw in the videos, and remember that everyone can be difficult at some point in their career. So you need to be understanding of factors like stress and overwork. In addition to dealing with them, you need to make sure that you refrain from being one yourself.
So how do you know if you are a difficult worker? Do you recognize any of the behaviors discussed in this presentation in your own actions? Do you feel that your behavior makes others uncomfortable, stressed, or unproductive? And has anybody ever approached you regarding a difficulty that they have experienced when working with you? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, you are a difficult worker. It's okay. The first step to helping yourself is recognizing that you have a problem.
Try to find the reason why you are acting in a difficult manner and address those issues on a personal level so that you can act professionally when you need to.
So why does this all matter to you? It's pretty simple actually. Difficult workers make getting work done difficult. They can increase turnover, lower productivity, and have an impact on employee satisfaction. In extreme cases, they can even result in dangerous situations like office shootings.
Difficult workers are also closely related to Daniel Goleman's concept of emotional intelligence, which provides a new way to understand and assess people's behaviors, management styles, and interpersonal skills, attitudes, and potential.
There are 5 domains of emotional intelligence, including knowing your emotions, managing your own emotions, motivating yourself, recognizing and understanding other people's emotions, and managing the emotions of others. All 5 of these domains are important to this topic. Knowing and managing your emotions relates to preventing yourself from becoming a difficult worker. Motivating yourself, recognizing and understanding other people's emotions, and managing the emotions of others are all about dealing with difficult workers in a professional manner. As seen in the case studies and wrap-up of this presentation, all of the techniques provided to you will help you to accomplish a higher level of emotional intelligence.
This is important to you because emotional intelligence is an important consideration in human resource planning, job profiling, recruitment, interviewing and selection, management development, customer relations, customer service, and more.
In the event that you would like to learn more about difficult workers or emotional intelligence, we have provided the links to some useful resources.
Remember key tips provided in this presentation and apply them to your difficult work relationships, for yourself, for your colleagues, and for the organization as a whole. Thank you for watching, and good luck.